Picture your mind for a moment, not what's in it. How it feels right now. If you're like most people, it's running a background program you didn't choose to run. A constant, low-level hum of unfinished tasks, half-formed plans, things you told yourself you'd do, but haven't, things you almost forgot, and things you're terrified of forgetting. The meeting you need to prepare for, the email you still haven't replied to, the conversation you've been putting off for 2 weeks, the idea you had in the shower that you were absolutely certain you'd remember but now can't fully reconstruct. David Allen has a name for this. He calls it the open loop, and he argues that every single unfinished commitment living rent-free in your mind is quietly consuming cognitive energy, whether you're thinking about it or not. The result is not just distraction. It is a kind of chronic mental exhaustion, the feeling of being simultaneously overwhelmed and never fully present in anything you're doing. You have tried to-do lists. You have tried productivity apps. You have tried scheduling, prioritizing, hustling harder, and still the hum is there. Because the problem is not that you have too much to do. The problem is that your mind was never designed to be a storage system in the first place. That is the insight behind one of the most influential productivity books ever written, Getting Things Done by David Allen. And what it gives you is not a motivation strategy. It is a complete operating system for your mind, one that trades anxiety for clarity and replaces the hum with something most people haven't felt in years: control. Let's break it. Section 1. Why your brain is the wrong tool for the job. Before Allen gives you a single technique, he makes an argument that should change how you think about thinking entirely. Your brain is extraordinarily good at generating ideas, at making connections, at solving complex problems, at creativity, intuition, and synthesis. It is terrible at storage, and yet most people use it primarily as a storage device. Keeping mental lists of commitments, deadlines, intentions, and reminders, trusting that the important things will surface at the right moment. They don't. Or they surface at the wrong moment, at 2 a.m., in the middle of a conversation, during the 1 hour you finally carved out to do something genuinely important. Allen's fundamental principle is this: your mind is for having ideas, not holding them. The moment you try to use your brain as a hard drive, you compromise its ability to function as a processor. And the result, the background hum, the anxiety, the inability to be fully present, is not a character flaw. It is what happens when you use a tool for something it was never designed to do. The entire GTD system is built on one simple intervention. Get everything out of your head and into a trusted external system. Not so you can forget about it, so your brain can stop trying to remember it and finally do what it was always meant to do. Section 2. The 5 steps of GTD. Allen organizes the entire system into 5 steps. Each one is simple. Together they are transformative. Step 1. Capture. The first move is total and non-negotiable. Capture every single open loop, every commitment, every idea, every task, every "I should really," and get it out of your head into one place. Not 5 places, not your phone, your notebook. 3 sticky notes and a voice memo. 1 trusted capture system. Allen calls this your inbox, and the rule is that nothing in your life should be living in your head. If it can be living there instead, most people resist this because it feels like it will take forever. It won't, but even if it did, the mental rent your current system is charging you is far more expensive than the hour it takes to clear it. Step 2. Clarify. Once it's captured, you process it. And this is where Allen introduces the most powerful single question in the entire system. Not the project, not the goal, not the vague intention. The next specific, concrete, physical thing you would do if you sat down to work on this right now. This question is deceptively simple. Most people have lists full of items that are not actually tasks, they are outcomes. Sort out the website is not a task. It is a project. Call the web developer to discuss the brief that is a task. The difference matters enormously. Your brain cannot act on an outcome. It can only act on a next action. And the anxiety you feel looking at a to-do list full of outcomes is the anxiety of a system that can never actually be done. Step 3. Organize. Once clarified, everything gets sorted into the right place in your system. If it takes less than 2 minutes, Allen's famous 2-minute rule, do it immediately, not later, now. The time spent managing a 2-minute task is longer than the task itself. If it takes longer, it goes one of 3 places: your calendar, if it has a specific date or time; your next actions list, if it's something you'll do as soon as possible; or your waiting for list, if you've delegated it and are expecting someone else to deliver. Projects anything requiring more than one action get their own list, each one carrying a defined next action. Step 4. Reflect. The system only works if you trust it, and you only trust it if you review it regularly. Allen prescribes a weekly review, a dedicated time, ideally the same time every week, where you process everything that has accumulated, update your lists, review your projects, and make sure that every open loop in your life has a next action attached to it. This is not optional. It is the maintenance that keeps the engine running cleanly. Skip the weekly review for long enough, and the system gradually loses your trust, which means your mind gradually takes back the storage work you are trying to free it from. Step 5. Engage. Now and only now you work. Not with anxiety, not with the hum, with full attention on the single task your system has already told you is the right one right now. Allen describes 3 models for choosing what to do in any given moment, based on context, time available, energy level, and priority. But the underlying principle is the same. If you trust your system, you never need to wonder whether you're working on the right thing. You already know. You decided that in the review. Right now, your only job is to execute. Section 3. The Horizons of Focus. Most people read GTD as a task management system. And it is, but Allen's deeper framework is something more ambitious. He introduces what he calls the 6 horizons of focus. 6 altitudes from which you can look at your work and your life. At the ground level, your next actions and current tasks. 1 level up your active projects. 2 levels up your areas of focus and responsibility: health, relationships, finances, career. 3 levels up your 1 to 2 year goals. 4 levels up your 3 to 5 year vision. 5 levels up your life purpose and values. Most productivity systems live entirely at the ground level. They optimize the tasks without ever asking whether the tasks are connected to anything worth doing. Allen's point is not that you need to spend every Monday morning contemplating your life purpose. It is that the higher altitudes need to be thought through, even occasionally, even imperfectly, so that the ground-level work has a direction. A perfectly organized system full of tasks that don't connect to anything meaningful is the most efficient way to waste a life ever invented. The work is not just to empty the inbox. It is to make sure the inbox is filling with the right things in the first place. Section 4. The Reframe That Changes Everything. Here is the idea from this book that I want you to hold on to after this video ends. Allen describes a mental state he calls mind like water. In martial arts, the metaphor describes a mind that responds to whatever arrives with exactly the right amount of force. No more, no less. Throw a pebble into still water, and you get a response perfectly proportionate to the input. Not an overreaction, not an underreaction. The right response. And then stillness again. Most people's minds are the opposite of this. They are carrying so much open-loop weight, so many unresolved commitments, unmade decisions, and unprocessed inputs, that any new demand creates a disproportionate reaction. A single unexpected task feels catastrophic. A small setback feels like evidence of failure. A minor interruption derails the entire day. Not because the events are large, because the mind was already full. The promise of GTD, if you implement it honestly, is not that you will do more. It is that you will feel fundamentally different about what you are doing. Calm where there was anxiety, presence where there was distraction, clarity where there was noise. Allen's argument is that this state is not a personality trait. Some people were born with and others weren't. It is a condition that any mind reaches when it is no longer trying to do two jobs at once, when the storage is handled, so the thinking can begin. So here is the pattern this book is asking you to break. The pattern of carrying your entire life in your head and wondering why you feel exhausted, scattered, and never quite on top of anything. David Allen's prescription is not complicated. It is just uncommon. Capture everything. Clarify the next action. Organize it somewhere you trust. Review it every week. And then engage fully, calmly, without the hum, with the work that is actually in front of you. The open loops will close. The noise will quiet. And the version of you that shows up to work, when your mind is finally clear, that version is capable of things the overwhelmed, distracted version never could be. Start with one inbox, one capture tool, one next action written down. For the thing that's been living in your head the longest, do that today, right now if you can. And if you want to go deeper on the systems that help you, think differently, build intentionally, and stop restarting. From scratch, this channel is exactly where to be. We have already broken down atomic habits, mastery, the psychology of money, influence, and more. And every single one is on this channel right now. Watch the one that's been on your mind, the one you've been meaning to get to. There's no better time than the moment. You still have the momentum. Think differently, live intentionally. I'll see you in the next one.